nilichelewa. I had matatizo with my transport arrangements.
He proudly calls himself the son of the Mau Mau.
Mimi nalala na jicho moja, ingine nalala ikiwaona. Nafunga moja usiku. Ile ingine nakaa kama torch.
A street fighter, unafraid to challenge his critics head on.
Hii serikali tulitafuta na shida mingi sana. Hatuwezi kubali mtu haribu.
Gachagua, a former provincial administrator, views politics as a battlefield, echoing a bygone era. For him, navigating the treacherous waters of the Kenyan politics is just another day at the office.
That's him. Unfortunately, now he has exported that. No, it's a Madeira thing. Now he has brought it out, and now he's all over doing the same thing to everybody whom he thinks does not, agree with him politically.
For him, navigating the treacherous waters of Kenyan politics is just another day at the office.
Wewe unanyanyasa watu, you've bullied people for 2 years. Unatajwa wiki moja unalia.
That shows me that this is not someone that backs down, you see. This is one tough guy.
Rigathi Gachagua never brings a knife to a gunfight.
Protesters had stormed the Kenyan parliament, prompting the military to be deployed in the capital's streets. The situation remained tense.
We want him to resign, and all the MPs that supported the finance bill must go home, and we don't want those MPs to make any public appearance.
While President William Ruto condemned what he called an attack on the nation's temple of democracy, his deputy seemed to be on a different page.
It is not in order or even conceivable.
The president and I gave a categorical promise to the people of Kenya that the issue of abductions and extrajudicial killings will never happen again. Sadly, this is back.
And he spoke after the president.
Who does that?
Who does that? He spoke after the president in, a state house in another county. After. Like, the president is the finality.
At this critical point, tensions between the president and his deputy appeared to be on the rise. While Ruto accused America's Ford Foundation of funding the Gen Z protests, his allies were pointing fingers at his deputy for allegedly funding the violence that ensued.
Yesterday, Nurdin Haji was trying to put up a team together to craft lies and propaganda and attribute the chaos that were in the country to leaders. I included former President Uhuru Kenyatta and others. Yet it is very clear, and the president has admitted, that these protests were caused by the anger of the people of Kenya and the refusal of Finance Bill 2024. I want to call on the National Intelligence Service not to take us back to the dark old days of the Nyayo era, where you create propaganda and schemes to undermine leaders.
That shows me that this is not someone that backs down, you see. This is one tough guy. And I'm so sure there are so many people around him who told him, don't do it. I'm sure. And he was just like, call the media, I am speaking after he's done. I will also address the nation.
Despite critics questioning his loyalty to President William Ruto, Gachagua's meteoric rise in politics is undeniable.
From a single term as Madeira MP to becoming the deputy president, his ascent has been nothing short of remarkable. In 2017, Gachagua stepped into the political arena, following in the footsteps of his late brother, former Nyeri Governor Nderitu Gachagua.
You people of the media, demeaned me. You called me names. You drew caricatures against me. You said I'm uncatchered, I'm uncouth, I am a villager, I am all that. But on the 9th of August, the people of Kenya, 7.2 million Kenyans disagreed with you and say this man called Rigathi Gachagua, we like his style of leadership. He's a truthful, he's an honest man. We can entrust him with leadership.
From his early days as a district officer to his tenure as Uhuru Kenyatta's personal assistant, Gachagua was shaped by the power players of the KANU era. He learned the art of political survival by any means necessary. When he ran for the Madeira parliamentary seat in 2017, he took on the role once held by his brother.
Ni kama kabaridi kanatokelezea somewhere. Can I get my jacket?
No, you don't have to get a jacket. We can have a cup of tea.
Hapo umegonga. Penyewe. I love tea. Fiti sana. Looks amazing. Gani ndio mzuri? Gani ndio mzuri?
Either,
depending on my choice. Yeah. Ama ni mix. Haya. Asante bro. Wesh.
Enter Kathy Irungu, a Nyeri politician who faced Gachagua in the Jubilee primaries. She doesn't mince words when describing the deputy president.
Rigathi Gachagua is a bully. Okay, from my own experience, during that time when we ran against each other in Madeira, I can say he bullied me. And he bullied me to an extent of even coming to my own village, and making sure that he brought that war to my father's, to our doorstep, literally, because he could even come and start insulting me and insulting our family from a school just next to our farm and next to our family's, home. So that's him. Unfortunately, now he has exported that. It's a Madeira thing. Now he has brought it out, and now he's all over doing the same thing to everybody whom he thinks does not, agree with him politically.
According to Kathy, the DP is explosive and vindictive.
There was a video. You are really angry.
Why didn't you call me?
I wanted you to cool down, like now today, so that you can tell me the story of what was really happening at that time.
This is what has been happening. I think now for the last 2 years or something, I have these people who keep harassing me, and it started with one time when I went to Nyeri. I remember it was in June last year, and I went to Nyeri. I had a meeting at White Rhino Hotel, where I had brought together people from the entire county. Of course, I come from Nyeri. Unajua mimi ni mwanasiasa wa Nyeri. Yeah, and immediately I left the place. I was told that I did a meeting, and I was basically inciting people against the regime, so to speak. And the person who called me identified himself as a police officer, and basically he asked me, "Can you turn back, Urudi? We want to get a statement from you." I told him I wouldn't go. I mean, there's nothing wrong that I had done, But for me, I think police harassment is something I'm almost used to, because even during my campaign when I was contesting in Madeira, the police were actually used to harass me a lot, especially on the voting day, where even my agents were arrested and stuff like that. So since that time, they keep calling and saying that I needed to give a statement on to why I keep meeting people in Nyeri and in Madeira, and basically what they say is that I'm inciting the people against government, which I do not understand, So that day, I was actually coming from home, and just past my place in Lavington, then I came down towards Kedileshwa. Immediately after the roundabout, this policeman stopped me. And says, what, we've been looking for you. So I asked him, looking for me, why? I'm not a criminal, what have I done? And the guy was like, okay, so can you follow me? We go to Kilimani police station. I asked him why. What mistake, what mistake have I done? What is it that that would take me to the police station. And you know what he did? Aliruka kwa boda boda, not the bikes for policemen, but he just got some two rowdy youths who were riding a boda boda, one in front of me, the other one behind me, and he actually rode on one of them and started blocking me on the way. So as we approached Yaya, I said, you know what, I'm going to tell you off, and I'm going to cause attention, draw attention from the public so that he can actually tell me what I had done. And I started asking him, nini? Nini, what have I done? And as you could see on the video, he could not say the mistake that I had committed, but I know between me and him, he had already told me that there's a time they had wanted me to go and write a statement, in regards to that meeting that I held in Nyeri. Of course, I go to Nyeri a lot. I do meetings a lot. And the people that I'm told I'm inciting people against the Deputy President, to be very specific.
September 13th, 2022, it was the day of William Ruto's inauguration as Kenya's 5th president, with Rigathi Gachagua taking the oath as his deputy. After a bruising campaign, the nation and the whole world watched closely, anticipating a message of unity. But Gachagua had other plans.
Poor people will never again be evicted in brutal evictions by state agencies. And I say, freedom is here. Let every Kenyan be prepared to work hard.
Gachagua seemed determined to keep the political battles alive with the same players, but now with Ruto and himself holding the reins.
Hata kama mnataka kuharibu ya Wakenya, muharibu kwenu. Hawa watu ya Mt.Kenya hawa, kazi yao ni kutafuta mali na kulinda mali. These people do not know anything about destruction of property. Their work is to look for property and protect property. Katigua. Na ndio Mwangi wa Iria na wale wengine mnafuata hiyo maneno ya maandamano from this region. We don't understand you. Our community is for looking and putting together and protecting and enhancing.
That office, even the office the Deputy President now represents, when the President's not available, is a symbol of unity. And there have been utterances by the DP in terms of recognizing Central. And, it's a good thing that younger generations are shunning away from that. When we're seeing especially Gen Z coming out and saying that they're tribalists, I think that's the way forward for our country, because we, Mutahinguni calls it the tyranny of numbers, where our politics is used to ethnic-based mobilizing.
As a politician, Gachagua has been criticized for failing to establish himself as a national leader.
All this time, he has not been able to marshal support. From the time he became the Deputy President of Kenya up to date, tell me, he hasn't even managed to cut that national figure. Even the mountain itself, he does his campaigns and everything else just around Nyeri. And maybe that is why he's able to focus on some of us.
His focus has remained on the affairs of his home region, Mt.Kenya.
Hii serikali ni kampuni na ni ya shares. Si ndio? Ni ya shares. Kuna wenye kampuni, wale wako na shares mingi, kuna wale wako na chache, kuna wale hawana. Sasa nyinyi muli invest kwa hii kampuni ya William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua. Sasa lazima mvune. Yule ambaye alipanda atafanya nini? Simulipanda? Simuliamuka mapema? Mukasema mutaki kusikia mambo ya ile system na nini? Muka invest, mukapanda, mukapalilia, mukaweka mbolea, mukamwagilia maji, wakati ya kuvuna ndio huu. Na itakuwa namna hiyo. Najua wengine wananikachifu ati mimi nasema ati wale walipanda wavune kwanza. Iko makosa? Iko makosa? Hata hao watavuna lakini wangoje.
For the last 2 years, The DP has faced each day as a battlefield, ready to take his critics head on.
I accept and welcome criticism from the media, from the social media, from everybody. But let me tell you, nobody will ever change me. Okay. I am natural. I will never change my language. I will never change my character. I will never change the way I speak. I will always speak from my heart.
Sasa hao watu walituumiza, wakaumiza rais wetu. Ati sasa wanataka kuja kuketi.
Gachagua had his targets and he pursued them relentlessly.
Hiyo ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila mahali nimeweka, na niko na watu wa kunipigia simu. Wakionekana tu karibu naambiwa.
Gachagua has gone a full circle in the last few months, attacking politicians around President William Ruto, claiming they are hatching plans to stir in differences in his political backyard of central Kenya.
So the problem, Senator Mandago, is a few leaders from this region who have proximity to the president. Ndio wanakoroga siasa huko kwetu. Kudanganya watu watuanze kupanga mambo ya 2032. That is a problem there. Now let me tell you. Mimi naomba watu ya bonde la ufa, tafadhali. Sisi tuliunga rais Ruto mkono kwa hiari yetu na kwa kupenda. Na tunaendelea kumuunga mkono. Tunaomba heshima kidogo. Msijaribu kutupangia siasa ya Mlima Kenya na kutupangia uongozi wa Mlima Kenya. Nyinyi mupange siasa yenu na uongozi wenu. Siku Rais William Ruto atastaafu after 10 years. Sisi hatutaingilia vile mnataka kupanga, nyinyi mtapanga wenyewe.
The differences between the president and his deputy were glaring, and Gachagua was not shying away from laying the blame at Ruto's doorstep.
Wale nyinyi wazee ya Wakalenjin, msaidie rais to manage things in this region. Nyinyi ni wazee. Pahali iko wazee, mchunge maneno. So that you make sure that people are responsible. And the Rift Valley region does not become the theater ya kukoroga serikali yetu na kulete maneno ambaye haifai.
For his is a very unfortunate, because even when they are tough, people don't tend to push it so much to the head of state. But for him, it's very unfortunate. It has come to a spirit where everyone is angry with you.
Hii vita yote munaona ati nikiambiwa ninaongoza ukabila ni kwa sababu ya kusema hata Uhuru Kenyatta ni mtoto wetu. Nimefanya makosa. Na makosa Uhuru alikuwa amefanya tu ni moja. Barabara alijenga, maji alifanya, alileta stima, alikuwa amefanya tu makosa moja ya kutuletea Raila, si ndio? Lakini siku rais amesema, sisi tukakataa Raila tukaenda kwa William Ruto. Saa ile rais wetu William Ruto amesema Raila ni mtu mzuri. Kutakuwa na haja gani sisi kuchukia Uhuru Kenyatta? Iko haja? Iko haja?
Unajua hawezi kuwa wewe unanyanyasa watu, you've bullied people for 2 years. Unatajwa wiki moja unalia. For 2 years. Unabuli kila mtu, hii county ndio huyo. Hii county ndio huyo. Unatajwa wiki moja unazama unalia. You know, bullies are the biggest cowards. Do you know that? Bullies are the maka unaenda sijui kwa msitu sijui wapi. Let me tell you, if you want respect, respect other leaders. Respect other leaders. And if you don't respect those leaders, respect the people who put them there.
When they were packaging themselves, I think God looked and realized who is closer to him in terms of same character but understands him, but a different character a bit. But in terms of that courage, no nonsense, who is this? And he gave him regard.
We are told that history repeats itself. First as a farce, and second as a tragedy. Honorable Speaker, you will recall what happened in this country in the year 1989 or thereabout, when the then Vice President, Dr. Josephat Njuguna Karanja, was hounded out of office on account of becoming too big, of making fellow leaders to kneel before him. He became a kneel before me vice president. Honorable Speaker, at one point, he actually purported to be the acting president when President Moi was around still. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to say who was right or wrong. Likewise, I don't want to say who is right or wrong in the present instance.
Recent signs of political tension were on full display during the recent vote on the controversial finance bill of 2024. MPs aligned with the Deputy President either abstained or voted against the bill.
Honorable Speaker, you know, when a hyena wants to eat its children, he starts saying that they smell like a goat. Honorable Speaker, I don't know who is the hyena here, who is the goat here. But Honorable Speaker, something is definitely not working.
National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, who heads government business in the House, has been vocal about his differences with the Deputy President.
Siasa ya kusanya watu eneo hili, kujeni, munifuate, ili niende nikafanye biashara na nyinyi ya kuwauza, ili mutembee, nifanye mnada na nyinyi. Hiyo siasa imepitwa na wakati. Hata hawa watoto wako hapa, wataangalia waone, watuweke kwa latiri, wapime, waone huyu ni kiongozi ambaye ana maono yangu kama mtoto wa shule na kesho yangu. Kwa hivyo tusifikirie iko siku tutaweka wa Kenya tena kwa latiri ati ubebe wananchi wa eneo fulani uende ukawapige mnanda.
Ichung'wah was seen leading a group of Ruto's allies to discuss the DP's conduct after he boarded a KQ flight despite significant allocations to his office. During this period, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua exhibited a sense of being under siege.
So if he decides to put up a play, it is not the place of the whip to call him out on putting up a PR show, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Deputy President is very serious about supporting the talents in this country. Only a few days ago, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy President was there for the launch of the Bahati show, Mr. Speaker. We might have had a continuation of the same show on the side, on the runway of at JKI, Mr. Speaker.
There are adequate resources, including resources for air transportation, Honorable Speaker, both for fixed airwing, aircraft, for helicopters, and even if the Deputy President opted to travel by sea, there are adequate resources for him to travel by sea, by SGR, or even by coast bus to any other bus, Honorable Speaker. And let me also say, Honorable Speaker, it is not unusual, because I don't know why anybody would think it's unusual for the Deputy President to travel with our national carrier, Kenya Airways.
The Deputy Presidency is a very, very critical office. In our neighboring country, the president today who's running that country was a deputy president. She was a deputy president of President Magufuli, and today she's a president of the Republic of Tanzania. So that tells you how important that office. That is not the kind of office that can be occupied by somebody who's pulling a trolley in the corridors of Mt.Kenya airport. It's not possible.
But Gachagua, ready for a battle, called for the naming and shaming of those he deemed traitors from the region for their opposition to his efforts to unify Mt.Kenya.
I don't know why anybody would have a problem with where we all come from. Because somebody comes from somewhere, and that is the truth. And everybody should be proud of your origin and your identity. And nobody should ever make you feel embarrassed about your origin and identity.
On behalf of the 6 elected members of parliament in Nyeri County, and this also includes both the senator and the women rep, we have really suffered intimidation and blackmail. And it is imperative that as elected leaders, we be allowed the space to execute the mandate that the ordinary people in Nyeri gave us when they voted for us. It is not possible that the people of Nyeri voted for us so that we can follow an individual when that individual goes dancing, drinking moratina, and eating nyama choma. It is not possible. And it's not even in Nyeri. It is in the dancing is happening in Honorable Kejori's constituency. We want to speak from the floor of this house and inform the country that respect is two-way.
We see a situation where the marriage is not working. And if the marriage is not working, the logical thing to do is to separate. So marry another wife. The wife and the husband are not compatible or are no longer compatible. Yes. So the most logical thing to do is to divorce, but start by separating. So if you want us to help you in the process of separation and divorce, then we are willing to do so. We shall offer our free services.
You'll hear him now toning down, listening, toning down, listening. That's the difference. You know, it's good to be honest. That's the difference. And that is his strength.
Following the recent cabinet reshuffle, Gachagua seems to have recalibrated, rallying support for President William Ruto while championing Mt.Kenya unity.
President amesema tuungane, kila mtu apende mwingine. Sisi tumesema never again kama region tutachukia mtu yeyote. Because what politics have taught us is that the friend of today can be the enemy of tomorrow, and the enemy of today can be the friend of. So mimi kama kiongozi nimeambiwa na wazee na watu ya kanisa, tafuta marafiki kila pahali, uunganishi. Hata next week tutaungana na rais kwenda huko Nyanza, taenda Homa Bay, Siaya, Kisumu, tukitafuta marafiki. Hata yule mzee tulikuwa tuko na shida na yeye zamani, we have no problem with him now. Si tunamuombea apate kiti ya kwenda Addis Ababa? Mnamuombea? Tunasema hata yeye ni Mkenya na tunampenda na hatuna shida na mtu yeyote.
Yet his critics continue to label him as a village champion, questioning his broader political influence. My name is Mt.Kenya and I am the Kenyan historian.